Welcome to Video Report Part 2. In Part 1 we discussed copyright registration and some history of how song rights came into being and how copyright law changed with songwriters assigning their rights rather than selling their songs outright to a music publisher for a so-called kill fee. Now, with the growth of the music industry, particularly in the early 60s, music publishers began offering songwriters, in particular those who played in bands or as solo artists, exclusive songwriting agreements. These kind of deals were fundamentally different from specific publishing assignments in that the latter type referred to specific songs set out in the agreement, say 3 or 4 songs only, whereas an exclusive songwriting agreement would carry a term during which the rights in all the songs written by the songwriter during the term would automatically be controlled by the publisher. The term of these exclusive songwriting agreements would typically run for, say, a period of 1 year, with options which the publisher can exercise to extend the term by further periods of 1 year, during which the songwriter could only create songs for that publisher. Because the agreement had an exclusive term, the publisher would normally be required to pay an advance to the songwriter, usually at the start of the term, and if the publisher exercised the option to extend the term, further advance payments will be paid, recoverable against the writer's share of future royalties. These exclusive songwriting agreements would often be thought of as a term of employment, since the songwriter could only make a living through the publisher holding him under the exclusive contract. When the exclusive term finally ends, the writer will be free to place his songwriting services elsewhere, but the songs written by him while the term was running, those that had been exploited, would often be retained by the publisher, subject to their continuing obligation to pay royalties on income received in those songs. You have to take on board that what I've said is just an example, and that there are many variations on exclusive songwriting agreements, including in-house agreements where songwriters would receive a retainer for writing songs for the publisher on a regular basis. Many of the larger publishing houses would make recording studio facilities available to the songwriter for making demos and, in some cases, master quality recordings. Having exclusive publishing rights to those songwriter performers who achieve international fame is of course an enormous plus to music publishers, especially when they have world rights, as they can then offer sub-publishing rights to companies in territories where your artist performers are having commercial success. Here you can see why licensing and sub-publishing songs is huge business. You recall in the first video I touched on the different rights you're granted by owning the intellectual property rights. This is incredibly important, as so many of these rights are often overlooked, especially by new music publishers setting up today, many of whom focus only on selling records and streaming. In video part 3, I shall be discussing other areas where music publishers can make substantial money on songs and how to build substantial catalogues using public domain. Look forward to talking to you in the next video.